Okay, and we should be live. So, oh, we see that. There we go. Took a little while to load. Okay, so we're back and we're going to do another one of these Dream Team playthroughs, and we are looking at Saranac Post Club by DylanBronson. Dylan helpfully has filled out the form, good man, and he would like us to play from the white tees with winds southwest and low. Fair enough. Key design features Donald Ross, you'd expect. Medium like tougher CC / elites, etc. And there's some things that influence it. So Plainfield, the Lido, Bald Peak, Sleepy Hollow, Baltimore Five Farms. Aware of some of those, not aware of many of them. Dylan knows his stuff. Yeah, 5'8", 5'900", which is bold. That's going to be a real talking point. So we're going to go with, what did he say, southeast? Southwest. And low. Chicken. And we're definitely taking crowds off just on the off chance. Yeah, okay. So I mean, Dylan's really well known. It kicks you out of the stream. That's fine. To be honest, it's probably because I cut the stream so that it saves me editing stuff on YouTube, which takes about half an hour to process the video again. So Dylan's really well known. He obviously won the major contest way back with Quincy Downs, which was a class course. Last year he had Monterey CC in this one, which was a little bit polarising, but still lots of interesting stuff on going on with it. It's had Kuka Dunes, which I don't think's made it over. Montauk Field Club in the World Cup last year, I thought was a really good course that just came up against a bit of a buzzsaw in its group. And then now we have this. He's been away a little while, I think. So we haven't really seen Dylan as much. Now, where are we starting here? Oh, cool. So little clubhouse coming in down here. I mean, I love this little look down here. Beachy area is very cool. I'm not entirely sure what you've done with the sand / water terrain, but it looks awesome. Really, really cool. Foggy boreal look, I'm all here for. I mean, I wouldn't say justice for Montauk. It was in a group with Grovey and Petro and was it Nitro as well? It was like really stacked in that group. So let's have a little look. Cool mountainous sort of raised terrain. This works well. Yeah. I mean, definitely getting the vibes that I would expect from a Dylan course. The bunkering works really nice. Hey, Maddie. And what I really like about Dylan courses is just, you know, that the golf is front and foremost in everything that's going on here. So we just can see like loads of open views. I mean, there is definitely a bit of a Carbondale feel with this in terms of how it looks, but I think playing wise it's going to be very different in terms of difficulty, distance, etc. My main concern is going to be whether it's really hard to do 5'8" without it feeling way too short. I remember feeling Bryn Orlon by Skinny did Calm Down Spud. Well, I mean, it's a good course to draw on. I remember playing Skinnies last year and feeling, as well as that was done, that was too short. Oh, Rhino's here. Hey, Rhino. Okay, so we're going to do this with a lot of interesting land movement. We've got fairways that are going to kick us off, which is great. Like, that can be a thing. The Rossi style bunkers I am totally here for. Obviously we saw Matt's like pseudo Ross bunkers, which were kind of a cross between Matt doing what Matt does and some Ross bunkers. These are more pure. Okay, and we got a funky green, which I would kind of expect. I mean, I am glad I'm not playing the pin that you have doubtless put on here. We would be having words. Did you now? Oh, fingers crossed, buddy. You'll get something going. Good little sight line through. Where do we want to be? I don't think it matters a whole lot for this pin. We can just avoid the bunker a little bit. Or we can just hit a really bad tee shot and just go straight in it. You know what? Let's do that. But Dylan's also very well known for having bunkers function as real proper hazards. I think you'd expect nothing less. That, I think, will catch backstop. Ah, it needed 100% rather than the 94 we got. Whee! Such a shame that that is not going to funnel back all the way as you wish. I mean, it's just because it's just trickled off. I think if it were higher up, it would have done. Okay. And I'm deliberately not going to look at scorecard earlier. Just kind of want to feel whether the lack of distance, for lack of a better term, makes sense. We've had a short opener, which should have probably been a wedge shot in. Second one, drivable. So I think we're going to be clearing that, aren't we, and carrying it all the way to the green. Evening, gooders. I don't really see a reason not to go for this. Will be long, but actually it might catch enough. Got a very generous pin for this one. Hey, Lacey. I think this might be the first hole where I'd say it would play better if it wasn't drivable. Like, I'd love it if you're thinking about hitting driver landing almost to this portion, and then where does it leave you, and you've got that play of like laying up here. Because I think all of this fairway's there and it's really interesting. I just don't think I'd ever really use it. I think even in a headwind I'm driving it and trying to play a wedge shot up onto the green. Maybe the back pin, I don't know. I still think even for a back pin I'd probably take my chances on the front bunker. Interesting. You can't see chat due to swing path. Oh, okay. Can it be lifted up? Yeah, probably. Can move the overlay around. Where would you like it? Down here? Stay here. That's a very good point. Thank you. Sort of things that I don't really spot. Yeah, I just feel like that was a bit of a... I think there's a lot of really good thought that went into that hole, and it's just tricky with drivable fours in this game because people will always go for them. Ah, this is the pin that was referenced earlier. I can see why some people might have not issue. Well, yeah. Land movement here is confusing me just a touch. I like that we want to try to make it not... I like your decision not to go, you know what, here's a little pin back here, you can run the ball down there. I appreciate that is a good choice. But we are, given that we're dropping way down here and then coming way up, we're going down a little bit here. It feels like it's fighting it just a touch. But it's kind of manufactured as a course, so as in, we're not really trying to hide the fact that the land has been worked. That's a better way of putting it rather than saying it's manufactured. It is a slender volcano. Hey, Alan. We've had, I mean, this is definitely the contest of the volcano. This actually isn't my first look at this course. I got to catch Rhino and Brino playing a couple of holes on it the other night. So, but this is fun. Like, this pin, I'm here for. And I'm really hoping that we'll find out. I remember playing... How has that gone that way? I remember playing Dylan's Dream Team course last year, and pin 1 was an absolute cakewalk. Pin 2 was a disaster and just phenomenally difficult, and that happened to be the one that I played on my playthrough. I got kind of the worst experience of it. I would like not to have back-to-back threes here, to be honest. I really like this as a 3, though. And I did really like the previous one. So, Monterey had a lot of good to it, and I appreciated it more and more the more I played it, I have to say. And in the end, I think I was one of the judges who was like highest on it. Love the sightline through to this green pin here. And just actually, it's all really understated and nice. I'd probably like you to drop this tee box just a touch. Give us a bit more of a visual of the river down here. But I'm quibbling. Moody lighting works really well here as well. Well, exactly. Hey, you two are on the same team this year. You've got to be nice to each other. I mean, you don't have to, but I'd recommend it. Okay, I think I'm going to say I'm ambivalent on the back-to-back par 3s. I really liked both of them. I think I would have liked a bit more. I don't know. I think back-to-back par 3s for me have to be both absolute stunners, like all-world Cypress Point 15-16 to make it work. Par 5 now. Par 5 now is really good because we definitely needed a longer approach shot. Really tempting us to hit this corner, and there's some interesting land movement that kicks us close to that bunker. Trying to work out my thoughts on this little bunker and the minimal amount of fairway. I think I'm okay with it. I don't think this is something I'd choose to do, but I think I'm okay with it. Again, really good, great visual, and I'm really enjoying the trees you've used. It's such a little thing, but actually I think these work really well. Maybe goes a little bit high up here, and I think that tree line itself is perhaps a touch formulaic, like could go up and down a little bit more or have some breaks in it. But I am really trying to nitpick and give you all I've got. Framing bunker in front of the fairway looks great. I'm basically repeating stuff that Jamie told me once upon a time. But I mean, loving the environment you've created. It's really cool. Now, this is an interesting one because we had very similar green kind of ideas last night with one of the red team courses, where there were all sorts of big red slopes. But this feels much more cohesive to me. Like, we've got options as to how we play it. If I don't, like with each of your pins, I feel like there's enough green around them that I've got decent putts whilst it's still not being easy. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's not playing stupidly short so far. Like, short, yes, but not stupidly so. There's no way this is getting there. Not. Sit hard. Go in the little valley of sin. I really wish these played as a bit more of a hazard in this game, but top wedge flop. I think that's okay. Might play a little bit more and try and drag it back. Nice to see Jeremy working his play count. And actually, I think your pin positions have been really varied so far. Like, I like that we've had one back, we've had one front on the previous par 3. Maybe like micro green contours we could work with a bit. So like, I'd like to see this whole section of green sloping down a little bit more this way, rather than a few of the beads breaking back this way and kind of congregating around here. But much of a muchness. We've had quite a few, not quite a few, but I've had a couple of pretty flat putts. One of which I missed, granted. Hey, Slotty. Yeah, I mean, you joined us for. I'm really enjoying this. Great course so far. Thank you. I'm glad. Another funky green. One thing, okay, if I've got one critique on the course so far, I think when we get to these really multi-tiered greens, we're occasionally diluting strategy just a little bit. So it is just hit micro tier rather than one side over another a little bit more. If I think back to, I remember featuring one of your courses, one of your holes on Montauk Downs for the plateau video I did, and that to me was beautiful simplicity with one green and just one really big slope. I mean, it works, don't get me wrong. I think it's more about how you're going to vary it. And I think for this one, there's enough there, but I have to really, I think the thing is I have to really be looking for it and going, actually, you know what, I think I want to come in this way because I get a bit more of a landing spot here and I can bank it off there, hopefully. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Eric, it's a good course. So does that mean we want to hold it up here somewhere? So now I'm looking and thinking, well, I'd ideally like to end up here, but I think that's probably more trouble than it's worth. Although it's a really good hole because if I bail all the way down here, what have we got? I think I'll probably just bail down here. I don't know, we'll be the judge of that. I think you'll have many people saying this is. Purely because it's so different, like... Good for you. Like, the openness I'm really enjoying with this one. That's a little too much. Still haven't got... That's alright, actually. That has worked out nicely. Yeah, I think you killed both parts. I haven't really got very much negative to say. Like, you've definitely taken some risks with length. So far, it works. Now, that is going to need a kick that I think it should get, but doesn't really deserve. It was an awful shot. Yeah, that was not my best. I mean, the little views you have created through to other holes are great. And this hole I think we've seen a couple of times now. I want to say. That's it from a... Yeah. Not in, oh, I don't know. I feel like I've seen that hole a couple of times. Pat with a cheeky 9.5. There. I just needed hitting. I don't know if you've hit your difficulty that you wanted to hit, but I'm not really fussed. Okay. Yeah, that's the Dylan pin I would expect on this green. And this is the first hole where it's gotten to a point where I'm just like, actually, I'd like a bit of a longer hole now. You have varied the club choices quite nicely. Let's go with that. Particularly with the use of par 3s. Yeah, I was never going to quite get there. I do think we've ended up with another par... I mean, this pin is an absolute bastard. But I do think I've ended up with another par 4 where I'm probably driving that more times than I'm not. Although, because kind of as we talked about with Monterey, I just feel like that wedge shot is so dicey. I back myself with getting a putt up to here and not running it off the other side far more than I do laying up and hitting a wedge shot to this part of the fairway. But again, I think that's just the peril of designing drivable par 4s in this game. They're so difficult. How about we hole it? Oh, god damn it. Like, I think that's probably the easy way of making birdie, and I don't think I'm ever making bogey from there. Unless I hit the world's worst putt. This is entertaining. 41 down, which means I can bomb it over there. I am behind a spine if I do that. But again, you've given me a nice big helping slope at the back, so I don't really feel like there's enough to make me not want to take that on. I wonder whether this is the sort of course that you play with actually, and you say play with the 265 driver. Yeah, I can see that. If we do go out this way, we do really open up an angle, so let's give that a go. Yeah, I agree. And like the way you've dotted the bunkers around feels very natural. Like you've done super wide courses before, where I'm thinking predominantly Kuka, and actually this feels way more narrow than that did. I think this is good. No, I'd agree with that, Slotty. I think it's been a really solid group of publishers. I don't think we've not had a lost preserved quite yet, but I think that's most contests. They still not show. Poor you, Charlie. Upa in terms of golf, phenomenal for sure. It just obviously doesn't quite have the planting of Lost Preserve. I don't mind them. I mean, drop-offs have to be relative to the shot that you're playing in. So if I'm playing a 5-iron into this green, we're going to be having different questions than if we're playing a wedge shot. Lost Preserve is that good, Jamie, stop it. But like, and also you've got to think that we're now a year on. At the time, it very much was. Upa was quality. Like JC doing what JC does. This green sculpting is something else. One sec. Let's just enjoy this for a second. I'll probably turn the little yellow thing off. Because the green grids make this look a little bit stupid. It's pretty wild. Huh, fun. Oh yeah, speaking of the green grids, we should probably turn those back on. But I will just hit blind into it, it's easier. Again, great setting on this one. I like that this one just really occupies its own environment and very much does feel dwarfed by the trees. Yeah, I don't know, Jerry. I don't know. Sorry about that. Back one. And we're back. Lighting is great. It's working well. I've had sun coming out maybe a bit more than I would have wanted. But there's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, but that's like any of our courses from that sort of era. I've had one where I wouldn't change that much. That's pretty normal. Seven under through 10. Let's go. Par 5 to come as well. Plus, that's also like the whole, like seeing what people have then taken from Reserve and moved it on. The muddy water is really cool. I very much like what you've done with textures underneath here and your dual water plane technique. Yeah, this has worked really nicely. Just really classy stuff. Okay, one big slope that's going to try to kick us into a bunker. So we want to be coming at it from the left. You're forgetting Shoreditch. So whatever we do, we just don't go left. Or don't go right on this one, even. Don't mind being a little bit short. Kind of in between clubs. Let's just drop this down a little. Oh, of course we hit a slow. Well, we'll test how your bunker works. It works well. Thought my tempo was good enough. I will take your word for it. Grab. I think you could definitely do a bit more movement around the pins, but again, I kind of understand why you haven't gone with that. And there we go. There was a little bit more than I thought. Yeah, but in different ways. We've had a lot of par 3s. I mean, lighting not helping this one. I feel this is the weakest of them. But I can see, I think that might be partly the pin. Well, I don't dislike it. 5th one so far, yeah. Bounce just short and kick on. And then use that, ooh. Didn't realise we were on an upslope. Damn, that's annoying. I thought I could roll it in. Yeah, drives like silly slopes. See, this one, I kind of wish that this was a longer shot in. I feel like you've got so much potential with this bunker and land behind it to bounce the ball in. And the fact that I'm coming in with 7-9 just dilutes that a little bit. It's flat the new red. Okay, see, your ears must have been burning. Does it play short yet? Yeah, it does, but not too short, I wouldn't say. I mean, we definitely could try this, but it would be stupid. So this is a good one where you just go, yeah, this isn't happening. I hear playing tonight might be needing to happen. So this hole we've seen a couple of times and been looking forward to getting to it. Anywhere up here is just sheer lottery, and it's putting us close to pitch distance. I'd probably rather not. Just down loft that a little. I think that should leave me a wedge. Yeah. Definitely feeling like this is a nice relaxing round of golf. This is your personal favourite of the contest so far. High praise. Oh, I thought we were just leaking in. I'm really enjoying it. I think this has got a great balance of golf and environment. Certainly. Another super short par 5. Disconnected green makes sense. I like this one. I mean, I think it's going to annoy me on the approach shot, but I like it. That's the sort of green site I want to build more of. So Dylan, yeah, and it's the only way you can make this green appropriate for this shot. Like, it's a shot that we won't do normally. Teeny tiny little bunkers are fun. I'm a bit thrown on the scaling front by the giant one in front and then the teeny one behind it. Did you originally have one down here? Ah, we go for it. No, you didn't. I'm trying to work out if I would have put one there. Maybe. Visual balance slightly off. Well, it's not really rolling off into rough though, is it? So none of these slopes are kicking us directly off the green. They're all funneling the ball back in. What I'm not a fan of is this, let's say we reversed these red slopes and had them dropping outwards. Then that wouldn't work at all. Because we'd be landing on the green and rolling off and we'd be dunking into heavy rough. I think we need to go. I think we've got to go for it, haven't we? 187, 35, yeah. This is the wrong decision, but I like that. Oh, well, I like that it's a short par 5 that's really pushed me towards doing that anyway. Because you know there's a sensible way of playing it, but you'd really rather not. Just got away with that. Great view again, looking back down, seeing 3 different flags on different greens is awesome. That's birdie the back 9, although we missed a tiny little part. Short, okay. Should have seen this one coming. Come on, get lucky. Whee! Fun pin. 2 of those I've had. Annoying. I'd say about now, I think it's starting to feel a bit too short. Right, as in just. Tell you what I am going to do when I'm playing for judging. I'm going to play with the 265 driver and see how it plays. I think that's where I'd really like to see what it feels like. Ah, damn it. Something like that. Well, there's a shot. Go just a little. How big was which green? The previous one? Well, the previous one was asking for a tiny little wedge shot, so it works well. I think it's got to be relative to the type of shot you're asking people for. Yeah, definitely about now. I remember you trying. Oh no, what does this hole remind me of? One of. There was a drive ball par 4 on Checkler way back when that was sort of similar to this. Not as short. 248, probably carrying 238. We're probably okay with just this. A great look again. I think on this hole I would like to be using the fairway more than I'm going to. Not that that is a good miss. Similar hole on Sussex? Oh no. I don't recall that one on Sussex. It was just a bad putting stroke. Am I right in thinking this is your longest par 4? Fun land movement. There's the plateau. Okay, we want to be over this way. Nailed the angle work on this hole. Like, these are tough to get right. Love the little clubhouse. The little purple flowers actually work really well. And they don't look gimmicky. Great view back over the first. No, not at all. I haven't had that much to say. It's really good. Got you. Yeah, the downhill par 3 because it was a tiny pitch shot in smaller green. So we had some uphill tee shots as well, right? No, 17 was a big uphill one, and we'll go through that and look at it in greater detail. I mean, what would I say? I think. Oh, Wayne, thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. We just finished playing this one, which you probably played as well. It was a lot of fun. I mean, is it too short in spots? Yeah, absolutely. For my personal tastes, and let's get that straight, it's very much a me thing. That I prefer. Like I really enjoy longer holes because I think it allows you to really think about rollout and challenging the player in slightly different ways. But I do think this worked really, really well for everything you were trying to do. I think I would have liked a couple of the drive ball 4s to be more like, I guess probably less drivable, I think. And the same, we probably had one too many very short par 3s. But all that said and done, you've taken a lot of risks here, and actually, I think they've really worked. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought par 5s were excellently done. They made a ton of sense. There was a good variety of green sites par 5s. So we had the raised one on 14, you had the one sat down on 11 that you could bounce the ball into. So I thought those worked really well. Par 3 green sites were really good and made sense. The only one that fell a little flat for me would have been 12, and actually I'd have just rather that been a bit longer. Because I think if you're going this short, you can always add like 40 yards to a par 3 because the length relative to par, that's going to be very doable. Whereas it's far harder to make a par 4 play long because even on 18 we've got a gap wedge in. I think you might find it tough to put onto more tee boxes there. Yeah, I mean, look, that was an absolute blast. Planting, as I said, really good and actually really unique, particularly with a creek. I thought the way you did that was very different to what I've seen before. So yeah, great stuff. Right, we're going to be back in just a minute. We're going with 2 from blue team tonight because red need to pull the fingers out, and we're just waiting on Pat's, which is the only one we're going to pause on. So we're going to go play Baby Balls one next, which is the crepe myrtle one, the one named after a pancake. So we'll be back in just a minute.